I've been really holding off on making this kind of video because it's shallow. It's a sad truth that a lot of us choose a lot of the time not to accept. And some of us actually do accept it as true. But a lot of us don't want to accept it as truth because it's so shallow. It's very surface level. But it's still the truth. Your looks determine the quality of your life. And I know a lot of people are gonna say, no, it's a person's personality, it's how they carry themselves, it's the person that they are in the world. That's why I like to hang out with them. That's why they're my friend. Right? We don't even need to get into relationships. We already know that's all about looks. Man and woman, that's all a procreational looks, genetics basis. So we don't need to cover that. We already know that. I'm talking about like friendships, partnerships with people, socialization with certain people. All of that is not at a base level based around the fact that you have a good heart or a good personality. Your friendships, and you see it as you grow up throughout your years. You got the cool kids in high school. You got the pretty girls in high school. And it's like we see it early on. Like, don't you see like the people that kick it with each other, those certain friend groups, they all kind of look the same on an attractive level. You're not going to see a bunch of jocks hanging out and have a dork, skinny, dweeb looking dude that look like a nerd hanging out with them, unless they're, hazing him or, using him as entertainment to make fun of or something like that. But they're not socially accepting that guy as part of their clique because he's not on a physical level. He's not on their physical level in their eyes. And this is why I say, like, you see it everywhere. You see people choose their friends off of how they look. Social groups and cliques is minimally based upon the fact that they have such a beautiful, great personality. That they're just a very kind person. There's two things that determine a person's life of friendships, or having a lot of them. It's their looks as number one, and a close second is what they bring to the table. That's it. Everything else, personality, they can dress, they're talented. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. That all comes after all of that. But those first two, the number one thing that's going to make a person be like, I want to be that person's friend, or I want to get to know that person more. The one thing they're going to have to first be able to agree with when they first see that person is how they look aesthetically. Do they like how you look? Are you a attractive looking person or an unattractive looking person? And if they deem you as attractive, they're going to be more likely to want to be around you, to get to know you, right? And the saddest part about it all is most people, not all attractive people are what I'm about to say, but a lot of attractive people are assholes. Most attractive people are not kind people, especially when it comes to the women. When a woman knows she's beautiful, she got a fat ass, she's desired, you see them all on social media. They're so full of themselves. Their shit don't stink. Like, they just feel like they can just get with all these different guys, and because they're beautiful, they don't really get drugged through the mud for it. They still do, but because they're beautiful, they're just young. They're just living their life. Most of their friends are females that envy their beauty, but they hide behind that fake ass friendship, right? But their whole life, their whole identity is rooted in their appearance. Same thing for a man. An attractive, handsome man, a lot of the time, his friendships are all based upon his looks. The fact that he is a man that can get women, number one. Number two, he's a man that's just physically attractive. Somebody that you will want to be around. Somebody you admire to be like or some kind of way. And number three, more than likely, he has resources. So who wouldn't want to be around that man? But the number one thing that person had to identify and accept is the fact that that person was either attractive or unattractive. Because at the end of the day, your looks determine the quality of your life. The life of somebody that is unattractive, that is deemed as ugly. And I hate that word. I hate that fucking word. But it's a word that people label on people that are unattractive. But when you're in that category by majority of people, life is hell. Life is pure hell. It's like nothing goes your way. Obviously, people don't want to be around you, right? Relationships, that's something you just probably will never experience with the opposite sex. And a lot of times your family even knows it's over for you. They're the ones that's pacifying you the most when they should tell you the truth. That this world is going to judge you off how you look, not your heart, not your personality. The life of somebody that's unattractive, their high school experiences, their early adulthood experiences are not just lathered with partners and friendships and trips and just laughing and hee and ha and just being carefree and getting away with stuff and not getting in trouble because of the fact that they're just young and just trying to figure it all out, like they like to say. They're just figuring it out. You get that treatment, they're just trying to figure it out when you're attractive. When you're ugly, you're lazy. You're making bad choices. Tighten up. You're a fuck up. You see the contrast? And this is the truth. And it sounds brutal. It sounds very surface level. But listen to this video, what I'm saying is the truth. You know damn well when you look at somebody, you are judging them off how they look. And if they don't look a certain kind of way, more than likely, you're not going to want to talk to them. You're not going to want to associate with them. And you damn sure ain't going to want to be seen anywhere with them. Because in people's eyes, when you're not attractive, you bring their value down. You bring their value down. They feel like you're bringing them down. Just because you don't look a certain kind of way. And that person could have the best heart, the best personality. They give you a shirt off their back. They probably have so many talents and skills, but because of how they look, the world will never care. The world will never care. The world will never care just because they don't look a certain kind of way. The world we live in, look at everybody that is popular, that is a top Instagram search or a top YouTube search. Most of the time, these people are physically attractive. But I want you to kind of take a moment and realize something. Analyze their personality. Are these people that we look at as so attractive and so sexy and so handsome or whatever? Analyze their personality. Do they really seem like a nice person? Or do they seem very opinionated? They seem very narcissistic. They seem very me. They just do what they want to do because that's what they can do. They're doing them. Their personality is very arrogant, but they'll mask it behind saying, I'm not a mean person, that's just how I am, and that's just how I express myself and all this bullshit. Like, shut the fuck up. Just, you are famous, you have clout, you have what a lot of the things you have in your life is based upon, number one, people like how you look. Number one, man or female, they like how you look. Look at Ice Spice. Like, what the fuck? That girl has no talent, bro. That girl has no fucking talent. But because she look good, she's going to get the benefit of the doubt. She is going to get people that's going to still check for her garbage ass music. And I ain't trying to bash her in particular, but she's a prime example of what looks will do for you. Look how far she's came just off of her looks. Does she have any talent? Come on. man. Hell no. She has no talent. We all know that shit. If she stopped twerking that ass and she stopped looking how she looked, we'll all forget about her. She's just one example. But this whole looks thing, this is deep. The friendships that you see people in, the cliques you see people in, we already know the relationships is all based around looks. But it's so real when it comes to friendships and who we decide to socialize with, network with, build with, be seen with. It's not, the first line of defense is not that person's personality or their talents. Unless they really got a bag on them and they could really make another person a bag for real, a person may overlook their looks because they got a resume of getting money and they can help them get money. But if there's somebody that's on the up and up and they just on the grind of trying to get there, man, look, that person's appearance is going to play a large percentage of why they are even messing with them. Because we know if a person looks good and they got talent and they got some drive to them, they're going to be successful because they have the number one component, looks. Right up under that, number two, talent or skill. And everything else, personality, nice person, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's cute. But the number one or two things is your looks, the value you bring to this world. All the other shit is so secondary. So it doesn't really matter. We see people on a day-to-day basis that are very attractive people, but have a nasty attitude, nasty personality, very arrogant, very brass when they talk about stuff. Very bold and just say random offensive things a lot of the time. And it's like they get away with it. We'll take it as a joke. We'll just laugh it off. You know, that's just how they are. That's just how they are. We'll laugh it off. Take an unattractive person with those same personality traits. He's an asshole. I hate him. He's a bad person. I don't want to be around him or her. Attractive person, that's just how they are. Hey man, they've always been like that. They ain't never gonna change. It is what it is. You see how we change how we view their personality based on their looks? It has nothing to do with the fact that the person that's attractive is such a kind person. That's bullshit. Most of the time, they're not good people. The people that are usually unattractive are usually the most nicest people on earth because they know they don't have the aesthetic. So they know they have to overcompensate with their personality. And it's sad because they didn't choose to look how they look. And saying looks are subjective, I think is bullshit too. Because again, we can look at a person for 3 seconds and tell whether or not they're attractive or not. Whether they probably have somebody as a significant other or not. Whether they have a lot of friends or not. We can tell just by looking at somebody. Looks aren't subjective. To a degree they are, based upon what we like. If you're somebody looking like for the opposite sex, I think it's subjective. But when it comes to just human to human contact, man, looks are not subjective. We are all based in looks off of a westernized standard of what we've been brainwashed to believe as attractive. And if you don't fit into that mold, you're just fucked. You're just fucked and you're tossed to the side and you're not regarded as important. You're overlooked. People don't think you're intelligent. People don't value your opinion and people don't respect you. Just because of how a person could look. You know, we'll gloss over somebody's flaws the more attractive they are. And we'll magnify somebody's flaws the more unattractive they are. Take that for note. Write that shit down. We will magnify a person's flaws when they're unattractive. And we'll put a blind eye to a person's flaws when they are very attractive. And that's the truth. And it's superficial. It's fake. I hate that's how the world is. I hate that's how us as human beings are, me included. I can't even run from this myself, goddammit. I judge people on how they look. And I'm not even a judgmental person like that. I don't judge people off of how they look from a lens of me wanting to mess with them or not. Because I understand the truth and I understand that's fucked up. So I don't walk around life with that superficial mindset. But I can't help the fact when I look at somebody, I can make an instant judgment on whether or not they're physically attractive or not. I can't help it as a human. But how my mind is set up, I know that that's not the first thing I'm going to label a person as and be like, yeah, I'm not going to mess with them now because of that. No. If that person has a good personality, man or female, whether it's a friendship or relationship, I'm open to getting to know that person. But I'm not with that whole just, oh, they don't look a certain kind of way, and I ain't gonna associate. I ain't gonna associate with them. I ain't gonna talk to them. They not at my level. That's fucking bullshit, man. I hate that shit so fucking much, and I hate that people that are on the other side of that coin, that are deep on the sea. There's a middle ground. There are some people that are just average looking, and I think they still have it good a little bit because they're not unattractive or quote unquote ugly, right? But there's people that people look at as very unattractive, that are deep in that hole of being unattractive, and their life is pure hell. And it's just sad, you know? And I can go on all day about this, but it's a harsh truth that I feel like a lot of us try to avoid because we know it's true, but it makes us feel like we're superficial, and we all are. It is what it is. But to end this video off, end of the day, no matter what, it's not your talent, it's not your personality, it's not your heart. The quality of your life is determined by your looks. Period. I'm gone.